never go away. It'll always be with me. And I think I saw somewhere the sadness is a reminder of how much he means to me.
Just feel like, I did something right in life with him,
We will never know, I don't think any of us will never know what the truth is, And you're talking about so many different, there's so many different aspects to.
Malcolm Jamal Warner, dead at the age of 54 on a drowning accident while he was vacationing with his family in Costa Rica. Joining us now, Bomani Jones, host of the Right Time with Bomani Jones podcast.
Okay, so y'all, buckle up because this just got way more real than we thought. Regina King just said what we've all been whispering. Malcolm Jamal Warner didn't just die, he was taken out. Yup, not an accident, not a tragic twist. This was something bigger, something darker, and way more calculated. The moment the news dropped that he drowned in Costa Rica, people started asking questions. Like, where exactly did it happen? Who was with him? And how the hell did it get reported with zero details? Nothing. No full statement, no press frenzy, just some cold line saying it was accidental submersion, and then silence. And that silence? It was loud. This wasn't just some reckless celeb spiraling out. Malcolm was solid. He wasn't out here wilding. He was respected, booked, and busy. So the fact that he just disappeared like this at this exact moment, it gives chills. What made it all feel too suspicious, though, was what Malcolm had been working on before he died. A memoir, a no-filter, name-dropping, truth-telling memoir. Not for fame, not for clout, but to finally expose the real stuff that's been hiding in plain sight in the industry for decades. Now hold on, because this is where it gets eerie. When the news of his death hit the internet, Regina King didn't go to the press. She didn't write a heartfelt caption. She didn't even mention the word drowning. She dropped 2 silent Instagram stories and vanished. The first? Just a photo of Malcolm on a motorcycle with one quiet line. Some people leave a lasting imprint, not just for who they were, but for the energy they carried. Then the next one? Ride in power. That's it. No rest in peace. No shock. No, this is devastating. It was almost like she already knew this was coming. And honestly, once you read it again, it doesn't feel like grief. It feels like a coded message. Like she wasn't just saying goodbye, she was mourning someone who was never meant to survive this. And let's be real. Regina doesn't post anything by accident, especially not when it comes to death. Remember when her son passed in 2022? She didn't say a word for weeks. And when she finally did speak, it was protective, deep, intentionally careful.
Grief is a journey, I understand that grief is love that has no place to go. I know that it's important to me to honor Ian in the totality of who he is.
So her quiet response now, it's not just grief, it's fear. Or maybe even a warning, because y'all, she knew Malcolm. This wasn't just some co-star. They lived together. She trusted him. And the fact that she's staying this quiet makes you wonder, why isn't she saying more? Or maybe the better question is, why can't she? Because that memoir Malcolm was working on, it wasn't just a little tell-all, it was dangerous. He was about to call out the same people who told him to shut up for years. We're talking secret parties, backdoor deals, and victims who were never meant to speak again. And guess what? Some of the people he was about to name, still out here like nothing happened. Now let's talk about this memoir again, because it was deeper than people realized. This wasn't just my journey in Hollywood. It was raw, messy, real. Word is, Malcolm had been collecting stories from people who never made headlines. Stuff he saw firsthand, stuff he stayed quiet about for too long, and just when he decided to speak up, poof, he's gone. And it hit him hard, especially after the Cosby scandal. He started opening up about how that situation shattered everything he thought he knew. He said it changed the way he looked at people he once admired.
Honestly, my biggest feeling is I feel sad for, just the way this whole, just the way the whole story has come about, and when you've done so much wonderful so many wonderful things for so much of your career.
But get this, there's a theory that Malcolm wasn't writing this alone, that he had 2 insiders with legal backgrounds helping him fact-check every single page. So this wasn't some messy expose. This was ready to go, verified, clean, real. He didn't want drama, he wanted justice. That's why this doesn't feel random. That's why fans are going off in the comments. One person said, "It's too many stories, it's nauseating." Just like Angie Stone, I am surprised that Malcolm drowned because he was known to be a good swimmer. Rest in heavenly peace. Another, very suspicious. Why would he be swimming in these dangerous waters with his young daughter? Right? None of this adds up. And sadly, this isn't new. Hollywood has a dark, sick pattern. When someone starts talking too much, they disappear. The industry goes quiet. Then boom, they're gone, discredited, or worse. Isaac Cappy tried to speak out. He named names, and next thing we know, he's dead. Suicide, they said. But people close to him, they're not buying it.
The thing with Isaac Cappy, that's personal to me. Your biggest issue is the things that Aquino and his group taught me to do are fun, and I'm really good at it. Enjoy the dark, brother.
So now let's go back to Regina, because y'all, it's not just sadness we're seeing, it's strategy. She's not just mourning Malcolm, she's protecting something. Maybe it's the story, maybe it's the truth. Because all these vague posts and then vanishing from the public eye, that's not just about privacy, that's fear. And if you've been around long enough, you know why she might be scared. Malcolm wasn't just writing, he was holding receipts, dangerous receipts. And guess what else is floating around now? A rumor that Malcolm actually sent Regina parts of his memoir, not to publish, just to keep them safe. If that's true, then Regina's not just grieving, she's guarding a literal time bomb. Because think about it, if what he wrote was half as explosive as people say, she's now holding the keys to a storm, and she never wanted to be part of this again. Maybe she's not quiet because she's clueless. Maybe she's quiet because she's next. So now people are going back, digging into all those cases we ignored, forgot, or brushed off too fast. And guess what? There's a pattern, a terrifying one. People who tried to speak up, vanished. People who threatened to go public, suddenly gone. People with powerful ties, dead. The same story over and over, and every single time, the truth never came out. And now Malcolm's name is on that list. And what's worse, we still don't know what he was about to say. Unless someone steps up, someone close to him, maybe Regina, maybe someone in his circle, and risks everything to let that story out, we may never know. But here's the twist that's got people whispering everywhere. According to someone close to Malcolm, he didn't delay publishing out of fear, it was protection. Yup, he was trying to shield the people who had been through the worst. Victims, whistleblowers, people who were used and abused and blackmailed. He didn't want to expose them just to expose the guilty, so he waited. He sat on the manuscript, circled it, edited it, protected it, and then, when he finally decided to move forward with publishing, everything stopped. That's not a coincidence, that's a setup. And y'all, it makes way too much sense, because once that book hit the shelves, the truth wasn't going to just rattle a few cages, it was going to shake the entire foundation of Hollywood. The names, the stories, the connections. If any of that got out, this wouldn't just take down a few people. This could destroy careers, end dynasties, expose lies that have lasted decades, and maybe that's why they needed Malcolm gone before it dropped. But here's where it gets wild. There's real buzz going around that Malcolm didn't just write this thing and keep it on a dusty laptop. He may have backed it up, a digital copy, and he may have given that copy to someone he trusted, someone who wouldn't use it for fame, someone who'd know exactly how dangerous it was and protect it with everything. And let's be honest, who better than Regina? They had history. She knew what he stood for. She knew he was grounded, careful, intentional, and if anyone would know the risks of speaking up, it's her. So maybe she has it, or maybe she knows where it is. Either way, if that file surfaces, it's game over for everybody who thought they could stay hidden. Because all it takes is one leak, one person to say enough is enough, and boom, every mask comes off. And that's exactly why they wanted Malcolm silenced. That's why they're hoping we stop asking questions. That's why they're counting on Regina to stay quiet. But here's the real deal. Regina's silence might feel like fear, but maybe it's power, maybe it's strategy. Maybe she's waiting for the right moment. Maybe she's already planning how to drop this bomb without putting herself in danger. Because y'all, she's smart. She's been around this industry long enough to know how it works, how dangerous it can get, how many people have been taken out just for getting too close to the truth. And if she's holding that file, she's holding a nuclear weapon. Think about what would happen if Malcolm's manuscript saw the light of day. Names dropped, secrets revealed, victims finally believed, and the people who've been sitting comfortably for years, thinking nobody would ever expose them, done. The whole system could collapse. And honestly, maybe that's exactly what needs to happen. Maybe the industry needs to be shaken to its core. Maybe it's time. Accept the fans. Because they see the pattern. They remember how this plays out. They know what it looks like when someone is silenced. They saw it with Isaac Cappy. They heard it from Jaguar Wright.
Andre was writing a book right before he died. Heavy D was working on a book before he died. Kim Porter was working on a book before she died. And Albie Shore was working on the documentary of his life. And then he goes into a coma.
And now, with Malcolm, same script, different name, and still silence. But maybe not for long. So don't stop talking. Don't stop asking. Don't stop sharing the story. Because if that truth finally comes out, it's over for them. And justice, it finally begins. It finally begins.